Hey guys, I'm here for another update. It's been close to a week now. I think 5 days, 6 days, something like that. So I'm gonna put out a quick update, and this is gonna kind of cover what's been happening since I ended my complete 1 month carnivore challenge, because there have been several changes, and we'll just get right into those. First one is bathroom habits. My bathroom habits have evened out. Yay! I think I've talked about that or mentioned it in a couple other videos, and I didn't really want to touch on it again until I made sure that my body had started to work through that, but it has, and it's great. If you have been on carnivore for less than a month, stick it out, because that will improve. All right, if you're having to make multiple trips to the bathroom per day like I was, if you're feeling urgent need to go like I was, if everything just seems so loose and ridiculous and not your norm, hang in there. It will adjust. It's just your body adjusting still. It's okay. And don't freak out. You'll get there. So that's good. It's much better, and I'm feeling much better about that. Once you get past the bathroom stuff, it makes it a little bit easier too for your body to balance when it comes to electrolytes. Because guess what? If you're pooping a lot of runny loose all the time, it's going to mess with your electrolytes, because some of those are getting flushed out right along with all of that. So if you're still experiencing all the runniness, I would say it might be good to just up your electrolytes a little bit, okay? As long as you're staying within the maximum, you're not taking more than the maximum, you should be okay, all right? You're not gonna overdo it. If you feel like you're taking, more than you need, you can cut back to, you can experiment with it. I just think probably more people tend towards eating too little than too much. Based on what I've seen in carnivore groups and different things, people talking about their symptoms, I had my eye twitch going on. I had to up my potassium to take care of that, okay? I had tried to lower my magnesium at one point because I thought maybe it was causing some of the loose stools, and that didn't do anything. It did not stop the loose stools, and it didn't seem like it was helping with my heart palpitations or my heart rate either. So I went ahead and kept going with my 420 milligrams a day of magnesium, and I upped my potassium along with that. That seems to have done the trick, guys, because my eye twitch stopped. So we're good there. I've been taking a minimum of 1 teaspoon of salt per day. I get varying amounts of sodium in addition to that from my diet. If I have something particularly salty like bacon, I will take some of that salt out, because I don't personally feel like I need that much more than my standard teaspoon. So I get between 1.5 teaspoons in a day of sodium. And for me, that's been enough. I haven't felt the need for more. If you have a cheat day like I did on Valentine's Day and you have a little alcohol, hubby and I split a bottle of wine. He drank a little bit more than me because I had a quarter of it, and then he filled up my glass again, and I couldn't finish it before I was just my stomach felt sick, and I was like, I don't want any more. So I stopped. But if you drink alcohol, make sure that you're loading up on those electrolytes. My husband said that he loaded up on electrolytes in advance. No hangover symptoms whatsoever. I mean, we didn't drink that much. We just split a bottle, but it's good to reload on those electrolytes in advance, because you will flush some of those out if you have alcohol. So something to be aware of if you have a cheat day. And the other thing to talk about then is the cheat days, cheat foods. We've had a couple of those since the 30 days ended, and different people say different things. If you want to be strict carnivore, go for it, super strict. We are not there as of right now. We want to stay mostly carnivore. So we are primarily carnivore with a cheat day here and there. We had a cheat day on Valentine's Day, which we had some homemade tomato sauce and some olives on the pizza that I made. Cloud bread crust. So that was still carnivore / keto. But yeah, so we're still eating keto, but we're not being strict carnivore on every single day. Most days. We've had, like I said, 2 cheat days since the 30 days ended. Valentine's Day, and then yesterday my husband had bought some avocados. I think I said a while back. He's been eating avocado regularly to try and up his potassium, because he really felt like his body needed that extra potassium. But he had these avocados. He decided he's going to try and stop that and just try and get more of his potassium from his diet instead. So other food, carnivore foods instead. So he wanted to drop that, so I decided to use the avocados to make some guacamole. Again, keto, low carb, guacamole, and so we had some of that with some pork skins, and it was delicious. It's a great like cheat food for sure. Amazing. Anyways, we had the cheat day, had the little alcohol. I had to load up on electrolytes because the day after I had that wine, I did feel, my kids are so tired, guys. They're so tired. My hubby is doing his best, but I might need to get down there in a second. Okay, I'm back. The kids are calmer now. All right, so we're talking about electrolytes after drinking, and I had to load up on some. I definitely noticed the effect of the alcohol. It felt like I needed more electrolytes to replenish my stores of that. So just something to be aware of. Other than those 2 cheat days, we've been pretty strict still with carnivore. I mean, eating all carnivore foods still. We've not made our kids stick with that. However, I will say our kids are starting to adapt to carnivore somewhat as well, especially our son who's younger. He's like 18 months old, and you can really see the change in his palate. He really is wanting more and more of the fats and the meats and stuff than he was when we started this. So I'm really excited to see where they get and where they are once they're even a few years older, you know, how their palates adjust and what it does for their health, you know, and their, you know, cognitive ability and concentration and all these different things that, you know, a kid might end up struggling with. Hopefully it's really good for them and they end up doing great on this diet. Okay, so I'm going to just briefly touch on RDA'S. I don't want to get into a long thing, but I will say this, since we were talking about electrolytes and getting them from your carnivore foods versus taking either supplements or something extra non-carnivore like avocado. Your RDA'S are a guideline, and they are literally built for people who are eating the standard American diet, which means they're going to be automatically very deficient in a lot of these nutrients. They're going to not be getting them from their diet, and when they do, they're going to be probably consuming a lot of anti-nutrients along with them that's pulling them right back out of their body. So when you eat carnivore, it's not the same because you're eating meat. Your nutrients are bioavailable, and when you're on carnivore, your body requires them in different proportions than when you're not on carnivore. I cannot go and explain all the details because I'm not a scientist, but this is just my understanding from what we've been listening to and reading about, is that your body just really does function very differently on carnivore. And so all these different nutrients that you've been told your whole life you need a ton of, you really don't need that much of if you're eating this way. And your body does just fine. Just ask the 15-year carnivores. They know what they're talking about, and they're doing wonderfully. They're in the best shape of their lives. They're feeling good. So, I mean, I can tell you for myself, I am getting at least a little bit of basically every single nutrient from my carnivore diet, all right? Because I've been tracking in Chronometer. I am not getting high amounts of everything in the amounts that they recommend in the recommended daily allowance. I'm not reaching like max or 100% on all of those. I don't think that I need to be frank. So I'll do another video where I talk more about that, but that's where we're at right now. So I'm not going to worry about meeting all those little tiny details right now. I'm just going to stick with it. I'm feeling really good. Like my energy level is still sky high, especially compared to where it was. I'm feeling like doing like little exercising and working out. So I've been adding some of that back in because I'm just feeling really good. My ketone levels have not really gone down. They have gone down like a little bit. So they were hovering around like, honestly, like 8.8 or so, like based on the urine test strips, okay? And they had dropped down to like around 4.4 the last several days to a week that I've been testing. So they have dropped some. They're still not down where they should be if my body were efficiently using those ketones. So I don't think it's being efficient yet, but we're gonna just keep going, and I'm sure I'll see that improve as well. My glucose has been about like between 79 and 95 pretty much every day for like the last 2 weeks. So it's consistent. It's not super high, but it's also not, you know, at the fasting glucose level that a lot of carnivores who have been on this for like maybe 3 months or longer would see. So again, I'm going to keep watching it, going to keep testing that and let you know. But, you know, it's not a bad score, anything like under 100, you're doing just fine. It's nothing to worry about. So it's comforting when you check those things and they are within good ranges. I've still struggled a little bit with, for me, a slightly elevated heart rate. It's normal ranges, but for me, it's slightly higher than my norm, as well as, again, some heart palpitations. I have noticed those improve though since I've upped my potassium. So that could be it, and I will keep an eye on that and make sure that I'm trying to get plenty of that from my nutrition as well, from the foods I'm eating. So, but all in all, I still feel great. The eye twitch has gone away, so that's good. Bathroom habits have evened out and settled down, so that's also super good. Just honestly, I feel like I'm starting to adapt more and more. We've agreed that we want to be fairly strict for a good 3 months. We're not being perfectly strict, like I said, but we're going to avoid having those cheats, like we had them basically once a week. We're probably not even going to do it that often moving forward. We're going to try and stick with like stricter carnivore. And we're not going to be upset if we have a cheat here and there. I know for me, it did not make me feel like going off the rails and like ditching the diet. So as long as it's not doing that, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay. And everyone's different. You got to do what works for you. If it makes you feel like going off the rails and going crazy with your foods, then yeah, probably better not to do it. But like I said, just kind of feel that out for yourself, see where you're at. I hope everyone is having a great time. I will try and do another update as soon as possible. I've been watching kiddos, and I've got my nephew staying with me for a few days as well. So it's been a full house and a lot of fun at the same time, but I hope to get back with you guys soon. Hope y'all are doing well. And if you have any more to say, your own stories, personal comments, remarks, anything that helped you, feel free to drop those in the comments. I would love to hear them. I read all the comments. So yeah, I will look at them. And any topics that you want to hear about, again, drop those in the comments as well. I'll take a look at that. I'm always trying to do research to make sure that before I share any information, even if it's helped me, I want to make sure that it is backed by, other reputable carnivores before just throwing it out there to you guys. So that's why if there's some time between my videos, that's why. I really want to make sure that this is properly informative and I'm not like just throwing out bad information. So yeah. Anyways, I will go now. Bye, friends.